the show begin. Next generation for the win. We're going all in. All together now, let's begin. Let the show begin.
So we're here in the WiT Studio with Amy Wei and Boon Sian Chai from Trip.com Group. First off, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you. It's our pleasure.
Thank you for inviting us.
I wanted to start by asking this question, and this is actually directed to Chai, right?
Yeah.
So Trip.com Group is embedding a second layer of content, including social elements like trip moments and travel guides. How do you see this content play enhancing both user engagement on one side and the overall booking journey?
Yeah, we launched our trip moments probably about a couple of years ago. And I think what we are seeing is that on a year-on-year basis, there's actually a 100% increase in terms of the user engagements of trip moments.
100% increase?
100%, yeah. And, triple digit. And I think the thing that we are proud of is we are actually, aligning with how the younger consumers, the millennials, are actually using travel or looking at travel itself. If you can, I'll just spend a couple of minutes or just 30 seconds showing you.
Sure.
If you look at our Trip.com app, right, 80% of our app is actually user-generated contents. The top part here is transactional, but as you scroll down, there is trip moments, sharing of food, travels, different destinations, different hotels, different areas that they can go to as a form of inspiration and also sharing from users so that it can help users make more informed decisions in terms of their travel.
And these are all like
plans.
UGCs?
UGCs, and
Right.
we really encourage our users to share that because again, it's really a multiplier effect. In fact, I was just sharing in the conference earlier, right? We know that customer acquisition is getting very, very expensive. So what we are trying to do is we're actually creating a travel community within our app itself. So at any time, we actually have users on our app looking at some of these photos, videos, and sharing of, for example, how to go from point A to point B.
Right.
If you land in Paris, for example, the airport, what's the fastest way to get to the city? If you go to Shanghai, for example, you have travel guides that we provide, right? You have basically tours that Trip.com provides free to our users itself. So again, it's really a travel ecosystem within our app itself. I think that's something that really differentiates us from our competitors.
Right. And it's also grown, I'm guessing the ecosystem has grown exponentially, or there's a surge in growth as well?
Definitely, we are seeing multiplier effects in terms of the growth itself, and we are constantly improving the experience so that, it allows our users to be more engaged on our app itself. So I think that's something that we are continuing to nurture, of course, with Amy's support in terms of the product enhancements itself.
Right. And Amy, like engagement and conversion, right, on that topic, what specific features or elements of Trip Genie do you believe have contributed most to higher conversion rates for users on the app itself?
I think it's a great question. I think if it helps users of their demands, will contribute a lot. So first, the personalization, because we have a lot of their existing behaviors in our app, like their browsing history, their order history, or some of the property they save. So we know that better compared to they asking the same question to ChatGPT or Gemini. We already integrate their previous browsing history and their preference in our app. So we will integrate that into the response, make their answer is more relevant for them. And on the other hand, I think the quality matters a lot. So we try to integrate the large language models, the nature response, and also we integrate our internal database, like what I just mentioned. We try to, people are asking any suggestion for good restaurants in Singapore. We try to integrate some of the UGC contents on our app that we try to provide the answer to users. It's not only solely the response from the large language model, but also our internal data. So I think that's the very important factor. And also the product we built, it's very natural way people are able to interact. Is not only about the text you input, you can speak to it and you can listen to the response. And also we provide the link and ensure from the conversation to the booking journey is very smooth. So I think the overall everything we try to make it standing out and help people to better convert on our app.
Right. And when you say quality of the answers, you're talking about no hallucinations or reduced hallucinations, stuff like that, right?
Yes, a lot. I think there's different type of the metrics, how we evaluate the quality of the answer. The hallucination is one of the basic we need to be there. And I think on the other hand, how the useful of this answer is also we try to measure that we provide the direct feedback. People are able to give some up or some down. And also we try to see if people are coming back to continue to chat with Trip Genie, representing if we solve their problems, and also how long they want to like chat with Trip Genie, how many rounds of conversation. It's also a very direct indication if people love the answer or not.
Right. And Chai, like what is the biggest challenge faced by Trip.com when it comes to growing and expanding across different markets, and how are you addressing those challenges?
Yeah, Arvin, so the thing is, maybe I'll give you an answer that may not be too original, but I think localization is a challenge that most global companies face.
Right.
Many companies, when they go into different markets, they cannot take a one-size-fits-all approach. And in Trip.com itself, we pride ourselves using this motto called local vision, local focus, global vision, which allows us to be very localized in terms of how we adapt our tools and our products to the needs of the consumers. Amy shared just now in the conference, for example, in the Japanese users, right, and Japanese products itself, they are very focused on food. They stay in hot springs. They go to they want to look at the products in terms of the sushi, the sashimi, and how decorative those food products are on the sites. So we actually pay a lot of attention in terms of providing very, very precise photos of these contents, so that when the user makes an informed decision on booking some of these full board products itself, they're able to make sure that they see what they get what they see. So that's in Japan. And then in Thailand, right, we also try to tailor to the user behaviors of the Thai people. So for example, we launched what we call payday campaign. We know that the Thais tend to spend the moment they get the pay. So we do our marketing campaigns around the payday. End of the month, we always have a payday campaign. And generally, Thai people, they have payday twice a month. So we do end of month payday campaigns, and we do mid of month payday campaign in order to sort of adapt to the consumer behaviors. So these are a couple of examples, right? And other than that, we also try to make sure that in terms of our promotions and our campaigns, we adapt to how the consumers are behaving. And I think if we poll, let's say 10 people now, we see that 9 out of 10 or 9.5 out of 10 of them are already using TikTok, Instagrams. They're already very engaged in contents and videos. So when we do our campaigns itself, we actually brought across what we call our live streaming product, which is very, very well used and adapted in mainland China. And we started also selling our hotel products on a live streaming campaign across markets. In our most recent 919 campaign, which is the biggest campaign that we do globally in the year, we're already seeing new markets coming up. So for example, the traditional markets like Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Japan, Korea, they're seeing huge GMV in terms of transactions. But we're also seeing markets like Turkey, Italy, Australia, New Zealand, generating high volumes and high transactions of these live streaming vouchers. And again, this product is also very unique to Trip.com. It's rarely heard outside of Trip.com. I mean, vouchers itself is something that you see on the e-commerce sites when you purchase other kind of products. But in the travel product itself, Trip.com prides itself as the only one internationally that's actually doing very well. In fact, recently in September, we actually launched a live streaming center in Thailand, because again, we want to replicate our successes in mainland China to the rest of the world. We started our live streaming center in Bangkok, and we invited a lot of hotel partners to join us, where we actually did live streaming, leveraging our live streaming product, and also working with live streaming companies like TikTok itself. So we continue to do that in order to be able to adapt to how users are actually behaving as they book their travel journey itself.
And I'm guessing that's like the most effective way to be a cultural fit, right? To be there on the ground, learning their trends and how they behave, consumer behavior in that region.
Yeah, we are constantly learning, and I think our product team, especially led by Amy, we are constantly understanding how consumers are doing things differently, and we are always optimizing our product itself. Our product is not a standstill product. We're always looking at, 24/7, we're always looking at what are users doing, how are they behaving differently, how are they spending their transactions, how they're making payments, how are they viewing the products itself, and constantly optimizing that. And that's something that I think Trip.com prides itself on.
Right. Speaking about optimizing products, that's the perfect segue for me to talk about AI assistants. And Amy, I wanted to ask you, AI travel assistants, right? How do you ensure that Trip.com's AI generated itineraries stand out from competitors? And like how has user feedback sort of influenced the product's developments?
Yeah, I think that's a very key question. I think every boards now able to generate itinerary. It's just a matter of article, right?
Right.
So the quality matters. So which means that if how to evaluate is this high quality itinerary and adapt to my personal needs, it first come to the personalization. As I mentioned before, that the response we actually integrate the previous user, their behavior and their preference into generating the itinerary. So this is one of the advantage we have compared to other general bots. And the second part is the high quality data.
Right.
So as Chai mentioned, we invest heavily in the content. So we not only have the user generate content, but we also have a lot of the professional generate content, like the bunch of the point of interest and also those previous orders, how many people they book to go to this entrance, like the Universal Studio in Japan. What is the review people have? So we have that kind of data to help us to curate it. What is the top of the good point of interest we provide to users, and what type of the audience it fits for? Is it only for the kids friendly, or is it the young people they would love to go to? So we have very high quality of the data point to try to get the answer from. And back to the previous hallucination question, we do not provide an itinerary, like make up some place. It doesn't exist. This is one of the very important part, right? So come back to that part. I think it also come back to itinerary. It's not only for the itinerary. I think the second part will be I try to book and I want to further to edit the itinerary with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
AI has never been perfect. So we need to provide kind of the manual editing, the capability to our users. So that's also one of the direction we try to make our itinerary management more practical.
Right.
We are not only providing itinerary bunch of the point of POIs, but we are enable user to add in their bookings, no matter flight bookings, hotel booking, make it actually is usable. And they are able to sharing with their friends to co-editing and finalize that. So this is the idea that no matter you are trying to create a point of list, or if you're trying to finalize that, put everything what you need on the road, that we are providing that kind of tool for us. And of course, we are OTA based, purpose-built boards. So we try to integrate the booking flows. If you want, you continue to asking, suggesting flights or hotels. So everything is seamless integrated there. So this is also one of the advantages compared to generalized bot, that we are providing a high quality user experience to complete their journey.
I can completely understand that motivation, because sometimes just to test, I go to ChatGPT and I'm like, tell me what I can do in a day in Kuala Lumpur. And then it gives me a list of things of there's a building somewhere and then there's another building maybe 50 km from it. And it's you can cover that in a day. I'm like, no, I can't. I know as someone who lives there that there's no way of actually doing that.
Yes. So I think as a product manager who passionate about the AI and large language model, I think the AI is not everything. It's a bunch of different tools in the backend. You leverage the large language model and the traditional the machine learning or the engineering work to ensure the solution you provide to users, it's actually address their needs. It's not the fascinating about the large language model itself, but it still need to come in the core. It's how to respond to users' needs and make a practical and useful solution to them.
Right. And Chai, what trends are you seeing now with tech and consumer behavior that will influence Trip.com's plans in 2025 and beyond?
Yeah, if I may elaborate a bit more on the curated list, right?
Sure.
Trip.com, I think over the last year we've been launching what we call the Trip Best products. Trip Best products in terms of leveraging AI, leveraging reviews, data from the consumers to come up with a list of, for example, what are luxury hotels, what are the premium hotels, what are the budget hotels, what are the trends that we're seeing, what are our top 100 restaurants around the world. Now, this is a combination of data as well as local insights, because we have teams all over the world. We use this curated data. We test it with our local users or local team members to say, hey, look, data and reviews and AI is telling us, okay, these are the top 5 restaurants to go to. For example, if you come to Singapore, you should go and eat this bak kut teh, for example.
Right.
Is this the one that you will go to? For example, is it the, Wee Nam Kee or somewhere else, right? So we use a combination of local insights tested with the data to be able to drive that, right? And I think this is something that we'll continue to innovate, because I think as users provide more data to us, as we have more local insights, we continue to optimize this list of trip best products, whether it's restaurants, activities, hotels, and so on.
Right.
Now, going back to your question about what trends are we seeing, right? I think one of the things that we are trying to embrace is the AI itself. I don't know whether you're aware, but we released our Q2 earnings results through our chairman and our CEO. And I think we are one of the pioneer companies that actually use the AI. Our chairman is an AI avatar. So he came up and basically he shared our Q2 earnings report using an avatar. It's an AI generated James Liang chairman, not a real person, right? So I think again,
like an AI persona.
Yeah, like an AI persona, and it's not just a picture; it's actually a real video, of him sharing about our latest numbers and what our projects, what our initiatives itself. And I think this is just a sign of what Trip.com stands for. We are always at the forefront of technology. We are always adapting new ways of working to be able to be, adapting to the trends itself, right? And it's not just about AI and data itself. If you look at how we are, also helping our consumers. Again, if you recall, just now I talked about consumers are now very engaged on TikTok and Instagram. We see that, they have short attention span. If we show them like a 10, 15, 20-second video, they lose that kind of attention itself.
Right.
So what we are promoting with our hotel partners is we encourage them to upload what we call a 7-second video clip that highlights the key parts of the hotel. That that allows the user to pay full attention to it, and at the same time call out what are the best things about the hotel itself.
7 seconds.
7 seconds.
Right.
It's 7 seconds, and it's not 5 seconds or 10 seconds, because again, based on user behaviors, we're seeing that 7 second, is exactly the kind of the optimal threshold or optimal number of seconds that the user will engage itself. And we are constantly engaging our hotel partners to get them to upload, and this is all for free. Right, we're not charging our hotel partners for uploading the video, so we are asking our hotel partners to do that itself. So that's one of the things that we are trying to do. The other thing that we are seeing is that I'm sure, Arvin, you're the same, right? We saw Taylor Swift coming to Singapore, and then tickets go crazy, right? So the events and what we call the events or program or project tourism are something that we see that is going to be up and coming.
Right.
The young users are going for concerts, they're going for sports events, F1 events, and so on. So we're continuing to put ourselves on the forefront of it, working with organizers, working with event organizers, concert goers, to see how we can provide some of these products to our consumers. I think we probably at the beginning of this year or second half of this year, we actually did a IU concert in Hong Kong, for example, right? When people told me about IU, I have no idea who IU is. But we know IU is something that is very, very popular with the youngsters.
It's big,
And it's sold out in seconds. And then we saw a huge spike on our travel app, on our Trip.com app. But luckily we were prepared for it. So, we were able to, keep the app, keep the system running itself. But it was selling out in, like hotcakes itself. The other one is what I call translation. I think we pride ourselves because, like I say, we are going into localization, right? We need to be able to translate hundreds languages into different forms of languages itself. So we have seen our smart translator performing better than Google Translation. So we want to leverage this as a technology to be able to make sure that we have the right information and the right contents for users in different countries based on the language capability as well. I think this is something that we are looking at. Last but not least is sustainable tourism. We are very lucky. I think our youngsters, our millennials are actually very, very adaptable, and they are looking at how they can actually support the environment, how they actually engage with the sustainability. So we at our Trip.com, we actually also provide functionalities as well as products for users. If they want, they can pay a bit extra, maybe 4%, 10% extra to be able to actually offset carbon emissions itself. And we're seeing higher engagement of users of that. When we looked at our corporate travelers, about 70 to 80% of them are saying that if they have to choose between a non-sustainable and sustainable product, 70 to 80% of them will actually choose a sustainable product. So again, I think this is something that's really good for our environment, good for our world, and Trip.com as a group itself, we continue to promote that as well.
Right. Amy Chai, this has been so insightful. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Arvin.
Thank you for having us.
generation for the win. We're going all in. Take center stage now, let's begin. Let the show